What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Trust the Bank podcast. If you're listening to this on podcast platforms, we thank you. If you're watching on YouTube, go check out the podcast platforms to see all of the full segments. Otherwise, they'll come out, each of the next few days, and you can wait to see them then. In this, we are mostly going to be talking about Ravens' new offensive coordinator, Todd Monken. So please let us know your thoughts on Todd, the former Georgia offensive coordinator, and what you think he will bring to the table. But overall, kind of how we like to normally do these Trust the Bank podcasts is we asked you guys, hey, what do you want us to talk about? And so we had some really good questions. We will talk about those. Before we get into that, I just want to ask Joshua, how are you feeling about Todd Monken as the new offensive coordinator?
Oh man, I'll be honest, man. At first, I wasn't feeling too good about it because I did think it was like a John Harbaugh type of signing, something safe and something not more innovative. I know we was talking about getting some younger guys, but when you think about it and really look at it, Ty Monken is under the age of 60. He literally he's taking his talent, that he's been given and personnel that he's been given and made uh, lemonade out of these lemons. I mean, we've seen it. I know everybody talks about, at UGA that he used a whole bunch of tight ends. But you have to realize, after George Pickens left, there were no real good wide receivers. So he made everything happen out of the play action, and I think one of the heaviest tight ends are going into the draft is from UGA. I think he's like 6'7", 265.
Yeah.
So he's like big as Mercedes Lewis, So when you really look at things and look at the scheme of things, sorry guys, it's beneficial to us.
Yeah. And, when you're looking at how Todd Monken comes into the Baltimore Ravens, Action Jack 8 asked a really good question. And he asked us to talk about the way Todd Monken used tight ends at Georgia and how much more likely will improve. And I want to add on to this and just say who is going to be benefited the most from Todd Monken. Let's talk about Isaiah Likely first, though.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think, because the University of Georgia had two top 5 tight ends in college football last season.
Yeah.
They had Brock Bowers, and then they had the backup, and the backup's supposed to go within the first couple rounds of the draft, potentially a first-round pick.
Yeah.
And now he's coming to a team with two very good pass-catching tight ends. How do you think Isaiah Likely is going to do this upcoming year with Todd Monken at OC?
I mean, I think Isaiah Likely is going to do pretty good. I think Isaiah Likely will be able to be the gorilla while on the field with Mark Andrews as well. And we do have to still throw in the fact that you will have a healthy Charlie Kolar this upcoming season as well. So you will have once again 3 tight ends that could possibly be lined up at a possible wide receiver position, maybe even the slot. Maybe all 3 of them on the field and not in a bunch set. So it definitely would be beneficial, but also I think it would be beneficial to whoever is playing quarterback, whether it's Lamar Jackson. I'm not going to say Snoop because you still do need a mid tier, excellent, a mid tier above mid tier type of athlete at the QB position. Even though you did have Stetson Bennett, he was a mid type of guy. He made that offense run to, he executed that offense to perfection down at UGA. So, I do feel like, quarterbacks, tight ends, we seen what was Monken. I don't think Monken was there when Nick Chubb was there, but he was there with Devin Cook.
Yeah, he was there with Chubb.
Okay, so we seen how running backs have flourished in this offense. So I mean, honestly, J.K. Dobbins may have a big year, may really be the feature back that he's been desiring to be in this offense as well. So I mean, it's a lot of variables that can be put in place. A lot of guys that could really eat in this upcoming offense, and we also seen what he's done in the NFL as well. He may not have the best of stints, but when he had Jameson Winston, Mike Evans went back to back for 1,000 yards receiving, and even when he was with Stefanski in Cleveland, OBJ and Jarvis Landry had 1,000 yards apiece. So honestly, if that doesn't speak to how he uses his personnel, then I don't know what else does.
Yeah, and when I'm looking at him and everything that you've seen out of him is one, he adapts. We had very different roster in Tampa Bay going over to Cleveland, very different types of wide receivers. And then when you look at, okay, now he goes over to Georgia, again, very different. he has a philosophy to use players and use them how they're supposed to be used. Get the ball in the hands of your playmakers. He's not going to force his system on your players. He's going to look at your system and say, hey, or look at your players and say, how can I get a system to fit these guys? Get the system to fit the players rather than the players fitting the system. You don't want to mold, force a square into the round hole.
Yeah.
You want to just, find yourself a square hole. I think that's going to be huge because we have a lot of playmakers on this team. And Joshua, you brought him up, J.K. Dobbins. I think J.K. Dobbins is going to get a huge workload. And I think he's going to be most benefited not by the run game, but by the pass game. Because Todd Monken is going to utilize Rashad Bateman, and he's going to utilize multiple wide receiver sets and 3 wide receiver sets and 4 wide receiver sets. And it'll be more effective. We're going to have good passing routes. And I think teams are going to be more afraid of the pass than they ever were with Greg Roman, which allows for the run game, which allows for the box to be open. And if the box is open, J.K. Dobbins is going to destroy opposing, front sevens. He's going to get big chunk plays. And he's so good when he has open space. But Greg Roman was like, no, we want to give it to Gus. We want to give it to all these other guys. And it was like, yo, are you watching these players? Because JK looks so much better.
Yeah.
And I think JK is going to be a featured back this season. And I think he's going to get huge numbers because he's so efficient. We have such a great offensive line, especially in the run. We're going to be pounding teams. And when we're pounding teams, we're also going to be throwing Bateman on the proper routes. Greg Roman had no idea how to use Rashad Bateman. It's almost moronic. It is moronic how he used him because Bateman is a, 10 to 20 yard reception guy. You want to hit him across the middle on the corner routes, on the middle depth throws, the medium length passes. That's where you want to hit Bateman. And Greg Roman used him as a screen or as a deep threat.
Yeah.
And it was like, what are you doing? That's like exactly what not to do. He tried to use him exactly how he used Hollywood. And it's like, it kind of works for Hollywood, but Hollywood's still like a good route runner. But at least Hollywood's like got burners and, but Hollywood was terrible in open field. And you'd be like, let's throw screens to Hollywood. And Hollywood just like goes down. And you're like, what are you doing? He'll use Duvernay for the screens. And he will throw it to Bateman across the middle, and he'll put him on those routes, and he will utilize the running backs. Everybody in this offense is benefited except for one man, and that man's name is Project Pat.
Yeah. That is very true. That is very true.
So it's just like, Greg Roman hindered like everybody. And it's crazy to think that. But the only person that he helped was the backups. It was like he helped Gus Edwards.
Yeah.
He helped Patrick Ricard.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Everybody else, he was putting them on bad routes, and he was forcing them the football in situations where, like, they shouldn't be getting the football.
Yeah, man. I think I'm just more relieved that the Greg Roman era is, it's truly come to an end. Now if Greg Roman, if he put out there, hey man, guys, we're parting ways or whatever the case may be, and then they just double back and say, no, we're bringing back Greg, then you know what? I don't know how I feel about this upcoming season, but seeing that they really did take their time and was diligent about going after this OC and really seeing who they can bring in that can help us out, it really paid off a lot because I know everybody else, including myself as a Ravens fan, was very anxious of why we didn't pull the trigger sooner. But sometimes it's good to be patient in certain situations. So take that Ravens fans take that statement how you want. Because the next thing we need to be patient about is someone's contract.
That's true. We're waiting on Lamar.